Agentic SRE currently is one of the most interesting intersections of AI agents, particularly DevOps when it comes to observability, reliability engineering, and particularly incident response. This industry, I feel, is currently moving from an AI assisted operations towards into the AI agent first that can detect incidents, investigate root cause, and execute remediation steps and collaborate with human engineers under using guardrails. So today we have back again on the Coding Adda podcast, Neel Shah. So hi Neel, how are you doing?
Yeah, thank you for having me. I'm doing great. How about you?
I'm also doing great. It's been almost a year that we shot a podcast last year on particularly on DevOps, and this time I'm pretty excited to talk about what agentic SRE is because I feel that is one terminology that is in a lot of demand right now because DevOps people would like back if we talk about 3 years back when AI boom was not there. People would talk about okay, I am a DevOps engineer, I am an SDE, but now that I'm hearing SRE, Site Reliability Engineer, and that too adding something on agentic. So everyone is currently talking about agentic SRE. I would like to, want you to explain into a software engineer who only knows traditional DevOps and SRE. What does agentic SRE mean?
Yeah, sure. So as everyone know, like we are transforming in agentic era. So everything is driven by AI now. So similarly, DevOps has automated a lot of stuff, and similarly, SRE also came with a lot of AI adoptions. So SRE basically what they do is they help in troubleshooting. They do root cause analysis. Whenever something fails, then SRE's jobs to investigate that and solve the issues. So in that pattern, people are now involving AI because AI can get you some of the core insights of your application. Similarly, at what exact point the actual error was occurred, so AI can help you to troubleshoot it faster. So that is the way like how agentic SRE is working. So not rely completely on AI, but using AI to troubleshoot to do root cause analysis faster. So that is how agentic SRE works.
Okay, so is agentic SRE just like a next version of AIOps, or is it fundamentally different from AIOps?
Yeah, correct. So if you see any of the observability tool currently, so they have AI ops. Maybe the naming should be different, but they have AI ops. So AI ops is basically because observability has all your logs, metrics, traces. So it has all of the insights of your application. Similarly, if you connect that with your GitHub or something, then it has also code base. So AI ops is using AI like AI models on the back, and they will help you to do troubleshooting and also give you the solutions. So I've seen some of the tools of AI ops. So within one click, they can generate a PR, and the solution can be fixed. So AI ops is basically in the same terminology how the agentic SRE works.
Okay, got it. So, what part of an SRE's day are actually a good candidates for AI agents today, and what parts still require human judgment right now?
Yeah. So I will say AI is there, everything, but people are not similarly. People are slowly gradually trusting on AI in production because there can be some of the misbehaves or something like that. But if you see, like let's say there are tons of alerts, and to bifurcate like which alerts are important, which alerts are not that much important, something like that. AI is very helpful. Similarly, previous to like AI agentic SRE, so there were anomaly detection and stuff. But nowadays, like because as we are moving in agentic era, so we have a lot of context. So because I also work at StackGen, and we also are helping people to build around agentic SRE and helping a lot of people in agentic SRE. So what we have now is we have context engineering here. So whenever something happens, and we have context of the application, and similarly we fetch a lot of different things. So SRE has a lot of run books. Similarly, we can call as run book or playbook. So basically, it's something in general terminology for all the technical engineers. So in general terminology, run books has like steps written down. So some particular error is happening continuously. So run books has steps written down like what are the steps to do to solve that issue. Similarly, because nowadays AI is there, agentic is there, so people is as we are lazy, so we don't update the documentation and stuff like that. So what happens is, so nowadays like there is dynamic agentic dynamic runbooks are there. So sometimes versions are updated in our GitHub or something, some application. So similarly, that version can be also updated in the direct runbooks also. So similarly, we are fetching a lot of context, and via context, it will help us to do proper root cause analysis of that. This is the way how it is changing out the whole overall structure. Previously, what we are doing is we were just seeing alerts and we were trying to troubleshoot like at what time it was there, and the back something failure on backend. We will see the log on that particular time. Similarly, we will also see the on front end logs. Nowadays, the front end and back end logs are correlated, and now top of that we are also having context engineering. So it fetch a lot of context of the application, maybe metadata, run books, stuff like that, and it is helping out to do proper root cause analysis faster.
Okay. So I think, yeah, me particularly also working in the DevOps area, I think people have now started adopting the way AI agents particularly are getting used in the DevOps aspect as well. Because many times what would happen is, let's say you have an image failure or you have a build failures that you're getting in the production, and it becomes difficult to find the root cause analysis. Like, does that particular failure come due to check-in by some R&D, or that is done by some changes from or configuration changes from our side? But I think that's the time, like this is the time when build some custom agents for that purpose, which can help find out what is the build failure, how the build failure was caused, and give us then a complete RCA rather than uh, humans getting into the picture. And I think many practitioners still believe that we are closer to using AI assisted triage than fully autonomous, getting the autonomous remediation.
Yeah, yeah. So
So
we are also providing like some of the automated remediation, and people are also using that. But there is something like at least one human in the loop at the end. So if the AI is helping out to do automated remediation, so at the end, like while applying it, there should be some at least a check from the human that it is working well. Then it can apply that directly. Because sometimes like in
okay,
the production, if some plus and minus happens, then we know like as a DevOps or SRE know that
yeah,
it depends a lot.
I think that's the time where when the knife is on our neck. Like, okay, if there is anything that breaks in production, DevOps or SREs are the one that are getting called here. So yeah, next question that I have is, it's like consider a real life situation. Like, imagine the production goes down at 3 a.m. Please help walk us through how agentic SRE system would respond differently from a traditional on-call engineer.
Mhm. So what happens is in general process. So on-call engineer, what he will do is he will go to that particular error and then try to correlate that error with traces, matrices, stuff like that. But instead of that, nowadays we have agentic SRE. So what happens is whenever something failure happen, so some failure alert is triggered. So like within one click, if we do the investigation, so investigation will, so there is a AI agent, so it will go with different steps. So I saw some of the investigation. So it goes via 90 steps. What it does is, so the alert was triggered at a particular time. So it will fetch plus and minus 5 or 10 minutes of graph of that. It will give me a summary. Plus, what it will do is it will also give me particular logs of backend, particular logs of front end, correlates that, and give me in a summary. Plus, what it will do is, because it has a lot of context, like what was the error and what could be the error resolutions. So it will also give me the remediation step. So before that, people actually need to understand what are the remediation steps and stuff. But nowadays, because we are using an agentic SRE, then also the whole summary. So summary is like particular graphs of that time, particular logs of that time, what are the major issues and what are the different errors occurred due to the some particular issue. And at the end, it will also give you the remediation steps. So if you follow this remediation step, then it is easy to do the fix. So this is how the whole terminology, whole process is changed now. Because people were investing a lot of time previously, and nowadays, like within few minutes, they are able to resolve that.
So last you talk about like autonomous remediation. Um, I think there is something that people still get confused on. Like people think like, okay, AI will magically fix everything. Now, as you said, it will give you a log from the front end, it will give you a log from the back end, and then correlate between each other. Now, there's a question that I have is, what does, when you say autonomous remediation, actually mean in practice? So does, like, or do AI, the agents restart the pods that we have? Do the agents do rollback deployments? Do they scale infrastructure, modify configurations, or that's where still we need humans to do it?
Yeah. So taking one of your example, you told about scaling the infrastructure or something. So let's say if we have kept a alert of having, like, let's say any of the CPU guards up to 90%, then we should have an alert. So the immediate next step will be like, how we go for AIOps. So automatic will be like, if 90% of the CPU is utilized, the next CPU can be turned on directly. So if you can create a logic, then it's like whole automation, automatic remediation. But if, let's say, AIOps, what it does is it also knows that the alert came for 90% CPU utilization. So if you click on that, like, so it will automatically create the new infrastructure. So this is also automated because we are not going manually and doing anything, but so we are clicking that we need the infrastructure. So this kind of with that. And also, like, we can also create some logics like that, cron job, something like that. But instead of doing cron job, AI will do the whole thing. Yeah.
Okay. So if you are building an agentic SRE system right from scratch today,
Mhm.
according to you, let's say you are building your own startup which is under building a complete SRE agentic SRE system. What specialized agent would you create? What would be your thought process on creating that kind of a system?
Yeah. So while working with this, it's AI also something like that. So basic understanding would be observability, because observability is very much needed in SRE. So basic understanding of observability will be there, and apart from that, I will be using different models, not a single model having all the heavy lifting, because whenever any of the company or AIOps product works, so they have different models. Because some error comes, so one model will be doing heavy lifting on finding what could be the causes of the error. Another will be researching on, like, what could be the solutions of that. Third model will be building a solution for that, and fourth will be validating that, because as we are depending on AI, then so one can be giving solution and another could be validating the solution, like how it is working or not. So we will create a whole pipeline kind of thing where different models are integrated and they are working for particular niche. So finding a solution or finding error or maybe giving the solutions. So similarly, so if we work on this manner, then we can create a whole SRE thing.
Okay. Now that you mentioned about observability, let's talk something on observability and reliability. I've seen that traditional observability was designed for humans to just look at dashboards. Like you have lots of data, you use Kafka, you use different kind of queuing techniques and get everything on the dashboard. How would observability change when AI agents become the primary consumers of telemetry?
So, like, see, observability has changed a lot, because previously we were just depending on metrics, logs, and traces, but nowadays we have events, we have like different position of data, so that is correlating with different metrics. So nowadays there AI is there. So what happens is, so there are events, there are spans, distributed tracing, because nowadays microservice applications are there. So adoption of AI is there always, and I have seen, like, there are a lot of AI models, LLM models we are using. So similarly, people don't talk about LLM observability. So there is also a new term called LLM observability. So observability just for LLM models, because consider a scenario where what happens is, you are building an application, and on the backend side of that there are multiple LLM models. So whenever you send a request and you are getting output, but you don't know actually what is happening at the back. It's like a black box. So if we are like, in the application there are multiple three LLM models, so you don't know which LLM model is taking how much time, which LLM model is taking how much time or tokens and stuff like that, because everything comes as cost, because token directly is related to cost. So nowadays observability also have now LLM agentic observability. So what it does is, whatever tokens you are using, whatever request you are sending, it will have traces of your LLM request also. So with this LLM provider is using consuming this much tokens, this much provider, right, this much provider is using this much time. So eventually, what it will do is it will help you to create more performance, more efficiency of the application. So this is like already changing a lot of things in observability also.
Okay. So, but now that we talked about observability, I'll go really come into the reliability part, because that's where I think it's much important, rather than obviously we getting the logs, we getting how different LLM work internally. But the main question there comes is, are these things reliable? So, how do you measure the reliability of an AI agent which is responsible for the production systems? Like, particularly, I want you to help me out with understanding how do we maintain the availability along with the latency, and agents being high prone to error rate, because many a times what happens is agents kind of hallucinate, and hence we get the error rate becomes very high. So, along with the error rate, cost efficiency, and hallucinations as well.
So you picked a very good question, because there are a lot of pointers on that. Because we go with cost, we go with like we go with latency, we go with like reliability, uptime, everything. So SRE in general is a persona who helps with a lot of reliability, uptime stuff. So nowadays, like as I told you, so we have LLM observability, which is helping in a particular LLM performance optimization stuff like that. But when we talk about agents, so there are also evaluation framework. That's why I told you, like if we create AIOps, then we should believe on different models working on different things, and then there will be a one will be like the evaluation model. Similarly, there are a lot of evaluation frameworks. So when I talked about you about LLM observability, so LLM observability also comes with some of the evaluation framework, because we should be have some threshold that this could be right or wrong, because everything works around that. So talking about the reliability and uptime, so that depends majorly on the application side. And so SRE's portion is to, when something breaks, then it will help you out. But mostly the, if you see nowadays, like some big uh, breakdown was there, some big outages were there last year. So due to that, a lot of impact happens on business. And a normal example, if a big website like e-commerce website is down for, let's say, one day, it will really impact a lot. So SRE's job will be like to have like all the backups. Maybe majorly what happened is recently, due to some war things and stuff, so some of the data center were gone out. So some of the companies didn't have backup. So that was a big issue, because if you don't have backup, you need to create the whole thing on scratch on in another region. So that was a big problem I saw. So main thing is, if you maintain a proper if you maintain proper techniques, that you have disaster recovery, you have like proper uptime, proper maintaining proper downtime, reducing mttr, reducing mttd, it will really help. And AI is helping there, but at least a normal techniques, there were their traditional techniques, they were there previously before coming AI, before AI came. So they are there to implement eventually, to have proper reliability, proper uptime also.
Okay. So now that we talked about from a engineer point of view who works at an industry, I really want to cover the part where we talk about the upcoming engineers in the next 1 or 2 years, because the primary audience that I have is on the part of these engineering college grads. So, all the most famous question I'll be asking. There's a fear that AI agents will replace the DevOps jobs, SDE jobs, SRE jobs. I think at a certain point of time, it has already replaced the front end developer jobs. But from your experience, I would like to know: does agentic SRE reduce jobs or change the nature of the role that we have? And adding on to that, what skills should an SRE learn today to stay relevant over the next, let's say, 5 years?
That's a great question, because a lot of people have fear that AI will take their job or something. But yeah, currently what happens is, if you adopt AI and if you're utilizing that, in your current workflow, and or like if you're doing the same thing in, let's say, 7 day, and if you're using AI and doing the same thing in 1 day, that is really helping you. So if you adopt with AI, then it is very helpful for you and it won't take your job. But it is the thing, like we should at least adopt to the things, technologies that are coming up. So similarly, we can utilize that. And talking about SRE, so I will say, at least people shouldn't be jumping directly to SRE. At least have some of the fundamentals of networking, Linux, and stuff, and then because it is a troubleshooting era, and we work with a lot of scripts, we work with a lot of logs, metrics, traces, and stuff like that. But I will say, like, at least have fundamentals of clear, and then try to utilize some of the agentic SRE tools. So it will be very beneficial for you. Otherwise, like, have proper fundamentals of that and come to a proper networking rules, stuff like that, and then shift to SREs and stuff. Because SRE are
Okay.
really important. Nowhere DevOps, SRE, like any company, let's say a big scale company, so no one can replace that. Maybe let's say currently today 100 people are working in SRE or DevOps. So maybe like due to AI or something like that, they can reduce something like to 80. But
Hmm.
they can't rely on AI directly, because see the scale of the application. You told by the front end engineering is some of the portion is done by AI. But when we talk about scale, so AI can create MVPs a lot. I
Hmm.
believe AI can create a lot of MVPs, because
Yeah.
nowadays within one prompt we can do create an MVP. But while
Hmm.
talking about scale, so it is not that mature. Maybe some after some time it can get mature, but even there is a human who can help. You can take help of AI in small portion. Let's say create this module, create small modules. So it is very much helpful for them.
Okay.
Yeah,
What is one of the biggest misconceptions people have about agentic SRE right now?
yeah. So people have like main thing is like how AI is directly doing summaries and stuff like that. So it's the same thing I can do on, maybe like, let's say I can just take the error, give it to any of the LLM or maybe Chat GPT or something, then it will give the same thing. But it is not like that, because when an agentic ASRE works inside your system, then it will have more context, more contextual engineering there, and it will give you proper RCAs. So some of the people, because I talk with a lot of people, so some of the people directly ask me the same question. So I can just copy paste the same error in any of the LLMs to give you the summary. But see, same error can be of different type, because everyone has different application. So agentic SRE works in your system and it has a more context, more metadata, more context engineering, more SRE runbooks. So it will give you a proper result. Otherwise, the LLMs won't be, because the LLMs give result, but it will be very generic. It is not particular to your application. So that is a
Got it.
misconception, like people believe. Because I talk with a lot of, so person who are in SRE, they know. So it is a different thing. Person who are in general tech, maybe some engineers, so they don't know, like so they believe that this is the same thing.
Okay, got it. So let's see, let's talk about the future now. Like fast forward to 2030. According to you, what is the ideal production engineering team that would look like? Will we have 10 engineers and 100 agents, or 100 engineers with 10 agents? Will we have fully autonomous operations, or along with AI managed infrastructure, or what else?
So similarly, like currently we are also helping a lot of customers to create infrastructure, automate infrastructure with guardrails. So creating infrastructure with AI is good. So see, if you tell any of the LLM provider, then you can just create a EC2 or something like that. It can create easily, but it is not with your company's policies. It's not with your company's networking policy and stuff like that. So it doesn't have guardrails, basically security concerns. So the trend would be people will be adopting more towards uh, AI infrastructure with guardrails, because guardrails is pretty much important when you go with big firm. So security matters a lot eventually, and a small firm also, because once something is open, then data is out, so anything can happen. So that is
Yeah,
a way like how people will be shifting to AI infrastructure with guardrails plus using
got
agentic ASR.
got it. Okay. So, do you have any message for the people who are watching this particular podcast?
So we are building some of the SRE community in India and getting a lot of good experts in SRE. So if you are more into, then you can follow me and I can share you some of the links, resources afterwards. So we want to create a platform where a lot of agentic SRE personas who are already building some good SRE stuff in their good agentic SRE stuff in their big companies. So we will get them and at least help people who are just came in after college or maybe freshers, so understand more of how agentic SRE works. So be in touch and we will help you to explore more on agentic SRE.
So I will ping down Neil's LinkedIn and his all the social media links onto the comments and the description below. Please do follow him and get all the insights on DevOps and Agentic SRE right now. Particularly, I've been following him for almost 3 years now, and I have been a developer, and now transitioning into the DevOps aspect, and been learning through a lot of the DevOps concepts and the tools via his LinkedIn post. So please do follow him and check out StackGen in the description given below. So yeah, thanks Neil for joining us. A lot of things are being done today. Uh, from DevOps to Agentic SRE. And I think this is just the start of the AI evolution where it's getting into DevOps. Because I think earlier was a time where it was only into the development phase, and people were like, no, AI will never come into the DevOps domain because that's where we handle things in production. But I think these AI companies are now proving that statement wrong by getting AI into all these DevOps aspects. So very excited about what will happen in the near future, near 5 6 years, and let's see. Even though anything that happens, we'll have people like Neil who will be guiding us all through the domains of the DevOps and Agentic SRE. So yeah, thank you everyone for watching this particular podcast. If you like the video, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. See you guys in the next one. Until then, bye.
Thank you everyone for joining and follow Adi for more such videos.